if you all haven't listened to the show, because I know we got some people that hadn't heard it listening now, how BattleGrounds work, we have 3 rounds. We ask a question per round. Both participants get to answer the question. The first one, whoever goes first, they have up to 30 seconds to get their answer prepared however they want to do it. They can't look on the internet, nothing like that. It's straight from the dome. We trust our participants. Then they have up to 2 minutes to answer the question and provide why their answer is the best answer. And then the second person comes after them right after they finish. Then it flip-flops. We need your votes. Don't just focus on just the answer. They say, if I ask them who's the best coach in the NFL, and they say Bill Belichick, just don't focus on that. Focus on their argument as well, okay, and why. All right, so Ray, I'm going to let you pick between 1 and 23.
12.
Damien, I'm going to let you pick between 1 and 23.
19.
Y'all been playing it so long. Damien, well, he got it.
Number 23.
What's the number?
23.
Exactly. Jordan, come on now. All right, Damien, do you want to go first? You want him to go first, or you going first?
I'm gonna go first.
Ooh, okay. Cool. All right. So here's the first question. All right. Name the best clutch kicker. I'm just kidding. All right, y'all ready? For real? All right, I'm serious. All right, here we go.
Everybody would have been like, wait, hold on.
All right. With the number 1 pick in fantasy football, what running back would you take? Not named Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, or LaDainian Tomlinson since 1990, and you have to pick the year also. Well, you know what? I ain't even gonna do that. Just what running back would you pick? You just gotta explain. I'm gonna say that again. With the number 1 pick in fantasy football, if you're on the fantasy football, what running back would you take? Not named Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, or LaDainian Tomlinson since 1990. Damien, you have 30 seconds. Come up with your answer.
I'm ready.
Okay. I knew it was going to get quick answers. All right. Let's go now.
I have to go with Adrian Peterson. You think about his prime with the Minnesota Vikings. When you think about picking a fantasy running back, you got to think about the situation and how much they're going to be used. There was years where he had somebody at quarterback named Christian Ponder. Christian Ponder may not even be 35 years old yet. My man been out the league like 10 years. That's how bad he was at quarterback. He had people like that quarterback, and so you know they're going to run the ball all day, every day with Adrian Peterson, someone who's capable of getting you 2,000 yards. Now, he's going to be someone who's going to get you those carries, get you those touchdowns. So if you're getting 2,000 yards and you're getting 14, 15 touchdowns, that's going to help you dominate your fantasy league. So I have to go with the workhorse, the man, Adrian Peterson in his prime for the Minnesota Vikings, because he was not only the option, but all the options for Minnesota at that time.
All right. Ray, it's on you. Let's go now.
I'm going to do something I've never done in my response, and that's semi-rebuttal here. The only reason I wouldn't go with AP, because we're talking about fantasy. We're talking straight-up talent. AP was a beast. But in fantasy, you're not going to get anything out of the backfield from him. He's never going to catch the ball out the backfield. So that takes him out of my list completely. And I would go with Priest Holmes, man. He's a guy that's often forgotten about in that same era that LaDainian Tomlinson was playing. And in fantasy, the reason people value running back so much is they can run the ball, and they can also catch out the backfield. During that time, Priest Holmes, I want to say he led the league in yards from scrimmage maybe 3 or 4 times, where he had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. A guy that can give you 1,100 yards rushing, can give you another 700 to 800 yards receiving, 20-plus touchdowns. This guy was doing it all. And again, because his prime was so short and cut short by injuries, people forget what he was doing in that time. I challenge you to go look it up. Again, 2,000 yards from scrimmage, receiving out the backfield, running out the backfield, and giving you touchdowns. Priest Holmes was a freaking monster. And people forget. That's also a throwback. That's a shout-out to people that forgot about Priest Holmes. But that's who I would take with the number 1 pick.
All right. That's the first round. Crazy. Woo! They bringing it. All right. Ray, you up next. Okay. Here's a question. And Damien, you follow him, of course. Name the most underrated non-superstar NBA player since 1990. And keep it simple. I'm not excluding anyone. Again, name the most underrated non-superstar NBA player since 1990. Ray, you have 30 seconds.
Oh man.
Man, this
Depending on what you consider a superstar.
yeah. I was gonna go with since 1990.
Jim Jackson.
Magic Johnson.
Go with.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Michael.
All right,
yeah,
I'm ready.
Magic
I'm ready.
Johnson.
I ain't gonna waste no time with it.
All right, let's go now.
So if anybody is listening to this and they know me as a basketball fan, they already know my answer is coming. In fact, I did a podcast with my opponent, the real deal Damian Adams, and he asked me about forgotten players, and I brought this guy up. Point guard, Phoenix Suns, Kevin Johnson. Like, this guy, people forget about him because of the era he played in. He played in the Western Conference at a time where Magic Johnson was at his best, and at a time where John Stockton began to hit his stride. Then Gary Payton came along, and Kevin Johnson just kind of flew under the radar. I tell people all the time, people talk about stats and 20 and 10. This guy went about 7 seasons in a row where he averaged 20 and 10. Like, it was seasons where it was, 20 points, 12 assists, 20 points, 11 assists, then 19 and 10, 20 and 9. Before about a 7 to 8 year stretch, Kevin Johnson was putting up 20 and 10. And then people always remember the 93 Phoenix Suns that went to the finals, and Barkley's going to get all the credit. He was the league MVP. He got traded from Philadelphia for Hornacek, and people feel like he elevated that team. What people don't remember is the 2 seasons before that, the Phoenix Suns went to the Western Conference Finals, led by Kevin Johnson with Tom Chambers as the second best player. Nobody remembers Tom Chambers. Only thing Tom Chambers is remembered for is the dunk where he walks up Mark Jackson, but he's never remembered as a star. Kevin Johnson was leading that team. And listen, John Stockton is always considered one of the greatest point guards in the history of the NBA. Look at the numbers when Kevin Johnson plays John Stockton. Took his lunch every single time. Kevin Johnson was a beast. In fact, just to give y'all some more insight, everybody remember the dunk over Akeem? YouTube, Kevin Johnson, Hot Rod Williams. Just watch what this guy used to do, man. Had the handle, had the bounce, would sneak dunk on you at any given moment. So the most underrated star for me since the 90s, point guard Kevin Johnson. In fact, he needed to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right.
Kevin Johnson.
Damien, it's on you. Let's go now.
I'm going to go with a player who was overshadowed by his all-star Hall of Fame teammate and also his team. I'm going to go with Joe Dumars. Right? You think about the Pistons, you always think about the bad boy image. You think about Isaiah Thomas, playing on a broken ankle or a hurt ankle. You think about just everything besides Joe Dumars. He's like the last thing that comes up for a lot of people when they talk about the bad boy Pistons. But this guy at shooting guard was getting you 20 points a game, shutting down some of the best guards in the league. He's guarding Michael Jordan. He's out there guarding Mitch Richmond. He's guarding some of the best guys to ever do it and not getting the credit he deserves. So you have somebody who can get you 20 points, 5 assists, shoot effective from the field. He's out here shooting over 45% from the field at a time when we even think about field goal percentage in that way. So he's very efficient, plays both sides of the ball, just a selfless teammate. So Joe Dumars doesn't get the credit he deserves as far as being somebody who was essential to 2 NBA championships. He didn't get that superstar tout because of Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas was of course, a superstar, but Joe Dumars was probably just as good as Isaiah Thomas. So I got to go Joe Dumars as the most underrated non-superstar player.
All right, let's go decide it. Just got to decide it. Good battle, y'all. Last question. David, you up first. Ray, you up second. Name the most clutch college NBA basketball player since 1990 not named Christian Laettner.
The most clutch what?
Basketball player.
You said college.
You said
College
college
basketball
and
player.
NBA.
I'm sorry, college basketball player. I was looking at college basketball player since 1990 not named Christian Laettner. Y'all should have known when I said Christian Laettner. But I'm going to say it again. Name the most clutch college basketball player since 1990 not named Christian Laettner. Damon, you have 30 seconds to come up with your answer.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go now.
Man, when you think about someone shaking somebody out their shoes and doing a step back to hit game winners, who's the first person you think about when it comes to college basketball? Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker, when he was at Connecticut, man, carried his team to the Big East tournament when they were considered a team that was on a bubble, and then ended up carrying them to a national championship. Kemba Walker is an absolute monster in college. Talk about clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. And he didn't really have other players on that team to depend on like Christian Laettner did or some other clutch players did. Kemba Walker is out there. You knew he was getting the ball. You set a pick and roll for him. You get that switch. You already knew what was going to happen. Kemba Walker, absolutely monster in clutch situations. So I got to go with Kemba Walker as the most clutch player outside of Christian Laettner.
All right. Ray, it's on you. Let's go now.
Oh, man, a couple of things. One, somebody tell Damian Adams the Bad Boys didn't win in the 90s. Two, he took my answer. I was going to go Kemba Walker.
Yes, they
but
did.
I'm going a different direction. Kemba was a great answer. I'm going to go a different direction. We're going to go with Carmelo. One and done. But he's the leader of the new school one and done. Right around the time where guys were still coming out of high school, going straight to the league. The same year, a year before LeBron, he goes to college for 1 year and then comes out one and done. But what he did in that 1 year was phenomenal. One of the greatest seasons we've seen. You got a freshman going to a big-time school in Syracuse, goes through the regular season, dominates, gets to the NCAA tournament, wins the championship for most outstanding player. And, again, he's carrying the offense. You don't think of any other offensive player on that team besides, McNamara? Like, every big shot, every big moment, it was always Melo. Again, freshman one and done. That's a thing now. Back then, it wasn't such a thing that, guys was one and done where you knew when they went to college they was only going to be there 1 year. Melo went 1 year, showed the whole world, I'm the best at this, did his thing, took them to a national championship. And again, every big moment, every big shot was all Melo, most outstanding player. So Carmelo Anthony as my pick for the greatest or the best clutch college player since the 90s.
All right. Ooh, it's going to be another tough one, y'all. I need your votes. I need your votes.